Yeah, that's right.
I'll call to order this meeting on June 2nd, the committee as a whole. I'll do roll call. Ben?
Here.
Scott?
Here.
Brittany?
Here.
John?
Here.
Myself am here. Regular board meeting will be June 16th, and the next committee as a whole meeting will be July 7th.
That's anticipated based
Anticipated.
on one of the agenda items.
Okay. Can I get approval to approve the agenda?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Nothing under student staff recognition, 60-30, 90-day plan.
It's pretty light.
Well, hopefully it's end of the year, so it shouldn't be too bad.
A lot of stuff carrying up for next year.
Anybody have any questions or anything on that? Okay, moving on. Colonial Insurance. Come on up.
Hey guys. Hope all of you are well today. Do you want to? So we're handing out a couple of things. We want to give you guys the opportunity to possibly offer your staff some of these benefits. I know that these are all voluntary, so they do not come at a cost to the school district unless otherwise. But I wanted to make sure that you guys had the ability to kind of look at some of these and really look it over. I know that at some time in the past, I believe you guys had AFLAC or still do. Some of our stuff is comparable in pricing, but our payouts are a lot more for your guys' employees. Especially when it comes to offering some of the benefits even to you guys as the board. I know that some of these really come at a really great cost to your employees because it really offers them protection against possible bankruptcies and things like that, especially with medical expenses and having to travel quite a distance to get those medical needs met. We were looking up some of the areas, local hospitals, dentists, things like that, that we can provide insurance for. And I know that it's quite the distance. And some of this really offers protection for those employees, especially those that are in need, because we never know when those type of things are going to happen. So we want to make sure and ensure that there are no bankruptcies that are going to happen. So what I kind of want to like really hone in on, especially, is the accident policy. That's one of our best policies. Now, if you turn the page to 1, 2, 3, 4, it has a group accident policy, and then it also does some of the payouts that go along with it. And when you look at this, keep in mind when you're looking at these things, these are policies that for a single adult usually is $7.57 a policy per paycheck, all the way up to if you add your family members, it's about $20. So you're looking at maybe 2 meals from McDonald's sometimes, right? for a policy like this that can have substantial payouts into the thousands.
Yep, and that accident plan, it covers on and off job accidents. So if you were to get into an injury while at home, you're still covered and while working. And it's just use those payouts to offset the cost of, say, your major medical plan you have. It uses to offset those costs. And it's money that goes directly to your bank account, not to the hospitals or the doctors or anything. So if you've already met your deductible for that year, you still get that money. It still pays out to you, and you can use it for whatever you want. In that packet, we have quoted information about our dental plan as well. It has a $3,000 max coverage per year on that dental plan per person on the plan. We cover 100% of preventative care, which is 2 cleanings per year for free, as well as a full 360-degree x-ray once per year. And then we cover 80% of basic services, and our plan also considers endodontic and periodontic as basic services. And then we cover 50% of major services, like your root canals and crowns and bridges there.
We did look at other plans as well, like the critical illness. So one is more towards the heart and protecting and giving insurance about those with heart conditions or family members that, you know, genetically you're going to be more apt to have those type of medical conditions. So one is based more on the heart and one is based more on cancer. And I did quote both of those as well, which really help out in those type of times of need. So a lot of people are going through, like, you know, GoFundMes and things like that, but this is those additional services so that you don't really have to rely on a lot of those GoFundMes or, you know, those rallies and things like that. Not that it's not nice, because we have those type of protections in place and we like to have community and things like that, but just to have that extra little barrier as well. And then also I don't think I quoted, but it kind of misprints. So I did group medical bridge, which is on the very last page, which is kind of nice to think about when you're, so a medical bridge is like car gap insurance, okay, but for medical. So if you have a higher deductible, we could do more of a higher deductible, and some of those rates are covering all of those deductible needs that you have. So if you guys increase your deductibles, we could put one in place where it would cover most of that and bridge that gap for your employees. I hope that makes sense. And of course, we try to do it in all of the different types of things. Sorry. Are there any questions? I know that this is a lot to take in, and there's a lot of numbers and things like that, but we wanted to make sure that you guys had the whole offering. But in this little handout, it does show all of the other things that we can offer. I just did group the cancer insurance into the critical illness, just due to the fact of the state laws that we have here in Wisconsin. So it is covering you substantially.
Really, our goal at Colonial Life is to partner with businesses like yourselves, cover the employees and protect them. We want to be a partner more so than a vendor that just throws a bunch of products at the wall to see what sticks. So that's why we want to meet with you guys and figure out what products would work best for you guys specifically, and then we move forward from there. But
We can also compare, if you'd like, with Aflac. We've done the payouts versus what a person might pay for a plan. We've supplied people with those comparisons as well. We don't beat everything out, but at the same time, if it's a little bit more, we're of course paying out a little bit more to your employees. But it's like pennies on the dollar. A lot to take in.
Yeah.
well, if there are no questions, I mean, that's pretty much what we have for you
Excellent,
guys
thank
there.
you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions or thoughts or anything, you guys, I have my business card and the little pamphlet, of course. You can reach out to me via email or even my phone number is on there. The first one is my cell phone. The second one is customer service. So you want to make sure that you're reaching me. You can text me or call me. Either way, it works perfectly. Okay. I appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you can email us maybe that breakdown of between Aflac and you, if you have something like that.
Do you guys have quotes from Aflac
I
directly?
don't know.
We don't.
You do not.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, do you have like a ballpark type thing that normally you work with?
Yeah, we can
Um,
put something
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Put something
for sure.
together, and then to me, it's more about asking the employees if they wanna do it
Right.
than
Right.
us
Right.
on that. So, if we have more information on for them, the better.
Of course.
For you
Of
guys.
course.
So,
All right.
thank
So I
you.
appreciate you
Thank you,
guys'
guys.
thoughts and things.
Thanks.
Thank
Have a
you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want
Okay.
action?
Paraprofessional wages for 25-26 school year. We wanna discuss or anything on it?
Is this basically a continuation of the last board meeting we had?
It is.
Yes.
Okay, has anything changed?
It has not.
Okay. I had made a motion, it went nowhere, I mean, so I don't know if there's,
I'm,
anyone wants to revisit it?
I'd be willing to revisit it.
Okay.
Can't remember your motion per se, but
I think the motion was to increase the wages across the board $1 an hour.
is that an official second?
For the aides,
Hmm?
for the aides.
Yeah, yeah, for the paraprofessionals.
Is
So,
it-
I'll-
is You're doing the motion?
I'll do that motion again, and
Okay,
Second.
all right, any discussion on this? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
So it's $1 plus the 3%
3%.
increase, so.
Thanks, guys.
Let's see, personal sick time allocations after break in service.
Jack. So this was coming back to, the handbook is kind of unclear as far as how that operates. If it's consecutive years or whatnot, so just trying to get some clarity on it. I don't know if you have anything, Tammy, that you wanted to share on that piece, so.
It just doesn't say in the handbook that it's consecutive, and I've done well over 8 years. And I was told by someone in the office that it will never happen, because it has never happened before. I have spoke to quite a few people who said that it has happened before
Jack.
with another employee.
So it's more of getting clarity on returning what our practice is gonna be regarding personal time after a break in service here.
So is this sort of to maintain seniority that was gained at a certain level?
That's correct.
And then there's a break, and if you
Right.
come back, you will retain the same seniority as opposed to what? Starting from zero
That's correct.
as a brand new employee?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
ones that I'm familiar with started back at scratch.
Well,
Does seniority mean something different than vacation days and sick time?
So the vacation, the personal days, it's based on the amount of time that you've been with the district. So-
But it
But you
also
use the
could
word
be in the
seniority.
pay. It could also be in the pay.
And pay,
too.
but what
yeah,
about, like?
number of years served in the district, I guess is the word.
Okay, I guess when I hear seniority, I think about I'm taking your position, you've gotta go do something else, cause I've come in with more
Yeah.
years of experience.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
No, it's if someone has 10 years in the district, has a 2-year gap, for whatever reason, when they come, and they get rehired, do they maintain, whatever, time off benefits or whatever that they'd had 2 years ago? Does that carry over now in the new
Sure, okay.
hiring area? Or
Okay, I just wanted to
start 'em
clarify
over?
with the
Yeah.
word seniority, if that means
Yeah,
something
this
different.
probably wasn't a very artful term, but.
It's an old term, but in essence, you're accruing the years. You're getting compensated based on that, so.
Do we have any parallel policies for other staff members in a different category?
We do not. This is just across the board.
So I would think a parallel would be a teacher who taught here for 10 years, left to go to another district, or just decided to take a couple years off. Do we start them back right from they did, as they were 10 years ago, or at the end of that 10 years? I think I'm stating that right, I'm not sure. But it would make sense to me that you credit earned is credit saved.
For in-district, not if somebody works at a different district. Someone works 10 years at a neighboring school district and they show up,
Well, I mean, we base our teacher salary on that.
sort of.
They've got 10 years' experience,
Right.
whether it was here or somewhere else.
Right.
We're not gonna pay a teacher with 10 years' experience the same as someone coming right out of college.
So that would be part of the initial contract, when that's decided.
I would think whenever
Yeah.
the school makes an offer to a teacher, it would be based on,
So the teachers, if they have previous,
so it
they
should,
don't, they start at the bottom for sick leave or sick leave and personal days.
I'm seeing a difference between, if someone serves in this district,
Mhm.
honoring that, recognizing that, I'd be a little nervous about, counting someone's time in some other profession, some other district, in terms of sick time, sick leave. I'm,
right, yeah, cause
in my
I
mind, I'm
think
saying I wanna separate that.
for teacher, it'd be more just straight salary offer.
Right.
I don't know how you would work.
It's a contractual thing, so
Think
you
you'd
have to
start over on-
negotiate. You can negotiate,
Yeah.
honestly. That's all negotiable.
I would land where you're landing though, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to clarify.
Yeah.
If we make this too broad, we may be opening up. Just.
So I guess is the ask, do we honor past sick day
Well,
or day?
It's years in service
it's
within the
years in service,
district.
Yeah.
That's right. So,
And currently we don't or didn't.
We don't currently.
And we don't because it's not in a policy, we just practice or?
it's a practice, and
They've
that's where
chosen-
we're asking about the
They've
handbook.
chosen to
make that,
go
so.
someplace else and then.
So can I for a second, or no?
Yeah.
So, what I see in the handbook is it just says years of service, it doesn't say consecutive years of service.
Right.
And that's why, when I first came back and I asked, and I was told, well, it's never going to happen. Well, the more I'm reading it, and the more I'm talking to other people about it, like former employees and whatnot, it has happened before. It just so happened that that person was in the office, so it was real easy for them to do. They had more control of it. So, for someone to tell me it's never happened before is not accurate at all.
I had said since I was
And-
here.
Yeah, and we're.
I'm the one that said that, and I said since I was here.
So I think it's just getting that clarity as to what this looks like in our handbook,
Okay.
just to clear this up, so that we know exactly what our practice is going to be moving forward. So,
Is there
if they're.
Neola doesn't have anything
I
pertaining to
can
this?
I can ask on that, and I can ask.
Cause I'd like to
different
copy something
administrators.
that's already something there.
Absolutely.
Instead of trying to make up our own necessarily. I'd like to see, especially, see what other, what others are out there, you know.
Alright. Shall we?
So we'll table that.
Table that one, I mean,
Take the
today's
discussion.
just discussion night anyway,
Yeah,
so if you
yeah,
can, you know. Alright.
Thank you.
So, just, because I
He's-
got an email that said I was supposed to go into closed session, I was supposed to be here for that, but that's not happening then?
No, it is, so, 'cause
That'll
that's,
still
that's
happen.
yours.
That's
This
strictly.
was general.
This is the general policy,
Okay, so then I should stay for that.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I have others stay with me?
That's your.
It'd be highly,
One is my union person.
union rep would be okay, but beyond that, it'd be highly inappropriate, honestly, in closed session. It'd be highly inappropriate, so it'd only be your union rep. Unfortunately.
Mike will be a union rep.
You are my union rep.
All right. Board retreat planning.
Alright. So we had talked about this, doing more regular times for board retreats. Just to make sure that we establish our course for the year. Just looking at considering dates in July or August. Dates, times.
Would this be during the week, or are we, I'm assuming?
That would be
Up to
general
us.
consensus with
Okay.
the group, so.
And where would this take place? Here somewhere? or-
Yeah, we can establish that however,
Okay.
so, if that's an
Pizza.
offsite. It's a technique. so,
And the purpose, I'm a little lost on the
Training
purpose of it.
and-
Training on.
It's more of going over guidelines and just having discussion on how are our practices, what are things that we, how do we get better as a board? And look at what are our next steps as far as the overall outlook for the year. so.
Without having
Would
to
this
have-
be an unofficial, or?
No, we would have to
It's-
post that it's a quorum, but
It's a quorum, but not a.
There's no
Not an open
business.
Public, okay.
It's just more of a training discussion type.
No business to take place in that, so.
Okay.
Mid to late July would be obviously better than early part for me. August, I don't have much on my schedule yet, but well, that can change quick, so the sooner the better we get something on the schedule, I'm guessing for everybody. So. Are we talking about night, evening more, or I'm assuming? How long are we looking at? What are we looking at?
I would say maybe an hour, hour and a half,
Oh,
so.
any evening for me for the most part, as long as I get good enough heads up.
Yeah.
Will work. What about you?
Yeah.
That work for you?
Yeah.
Does that work for
Pretty wide
everybody?
open. Anything after the fourth weekend.
So, yeah, I guess, look at the school calendar, make sure everything fits.
Mhm.
Throw out some
I
dates.
need enough of a heads up for work.
Like,
I work afternoons.
so, like, month,
Yeah, that'd be nice if I could get.
so
Okay.
late June, late
Yeah,
July?
If we could, that works, but
Let's
yeah.
do the third week in July. Is everybody okay with third week of July?
That should be
Well,
okay.
we have a board meeting on the 21st, so.
That'd be just before it, right? Or is that right after it? Third week would be the 14th through the 18th.
Yeah, we can take a look at a few different things,
Yeah.
whether it's, the week after that too. I mean,
Okay.
So,
Yeah, let's look at that.
okay.
Alright. Meeting schedule.
So this is just a proposal, as far as, meeting dates, kind of fits that same.
First and third.
Right, with some exceptions to that piece, which is October, which is, very much follows the, release of our budget from the state, as well as our annual meeting time, so, where we have to.
Won't be here for October. Or the November committee as a whole. I will be out of the country. So,
In October.
yeah, the 27th and the 3rd will be. So, I mean, you'd be running it.
Well, I'm out of the country the first 2 weeks.
Of October?
Yep.
Okay, well,
So
then
From
we'll
the
swap.
first to
So-
the 11th.
So
So we'll swap.
I think we can take a look at if there are major conflicts. I think one conundrum is April, where you have, the first Monday is Easter, following Easter. That's why it's pushed back, provides a little bit of space, but then you have a quick turnaround to May again, so, anyway, so it's just some stuff to think about here.
Okay. All right, policy updates, group 1 first reading. Okay. I have not had a chance to look at these yet, so.
So there's a few things, a lot of different updates, but there are no, choices on these.
Okay.
Or if there are choices, they are selected as far as the recommendation, so.
So on curriculum development, I see Q is lined out of that, of A through Q.
Right, that was a Neola, recommendation, so.
Why are they, do we know why they're recommending it?
I'll get clarity on that.
Okay.
I can get clarity on that, so. Cause I know a lot of what they're trying to do is, match up with current laws and justifications.
Okay,
so.
well, as far as I know, that wouldn't be against the law, but maybe I'm missing something.
No, I hear you. Cause yeah, I did.
So this is just a first read and then,
That's correct.
okay. But if you can get any clarity from Neola why they suddenly don't like that.
Right.
That was the only question I had on the policy.
Okay. Sports participation in lieu of PE credit. Have we done this in the past, I thought?
Well,
Yeah, I thought we had two.
I thought when I was in high school, that was an
I
option.
thought actually the last couple of years.
so this was something that
I know it
is,
was.
it's definitely in law that the school board has that option. But when we look at all of our documents, the only place that this comes up is in the course catalog. It's nothing in the handbook or anything else that states what our policy or what our practice is with this.
So what are we doing now?
It's not right now.
It's-
Right?
If someone
Every-
plays a
everyone's-
sport, they're not getting a half credit, or is that?
No, not necessarily. It's, there's question as to who's eligible for it.
I think
Because some people have mentioned, well, no, it's junior and senior, and a couple others, no, that's across the board. But there's nothing stating specifically what our practice is, that I've seen anyway. I don't know if you've seen anything in that, so. And that's where we need to get some clarity, because that's one of those things where it's an outlier where it's located and it doesn't provide great guidance. So.
So we could craft a motion that simply leverages the freedom provided by the state law.
It's getting, yes, you have that option as a board, but it's getting clarity as to how we want to practice it, so we can have it recorded, so.
So I'm confused by the statement that's here. The school board may allow a pupil to participate in sports or another organized physical activity that is determined by the school board to complete an additional 0.5 credits in English, social studies, math, science, or health education in lieu of 0.5 in physical ed.
So I don't wanna, if my kid doesn't take a gym class because he wants to take another math class,
He can make the.
he can say, okay, I
Satisfy the PE credit with.
Oh,
sports and have an open slot on the schedule to take.
All right, I
math,
read that wrong,
English.
okay, now that makes sense, okay. So it would be in lieu, I mean, they still have to have the physical education credit, but they can, as long as.
Satisfy it through their
Right.
physical activity.
But it's limited to 0.5.
Yeah.
So, which graduation requirements is 1.5.
Of,
Now, this is
PE.
this is 0.5 period throughout
Yes.
the whole.
That is correct.
oh, so it's not
Yeah. It's
five,
not per
five
year.
sophomore year, five.
I'm
One-
okay
one
with
shot.
that, I'm okay with
But
the
it-
one-time thing.
But
especially.
who can you, I guess, I mean, we don't have to have that now, but it's more of that, who can utilize that? Does it matter? I mean, like freshman and sophomore, does it matter if it's that, or if it's just across
I
the board in
mean-
high school?
So you're gonna
That's-
have kids
maybe
coming
just
and going too based on the sports seasons, because
a
if you got a kiddo
varsity
playing
sport.
basketball, but they don't play baseball, is that a coming and going situation, or how does that?
No,
play
it
in?
would be the sport, and that's where we have to have some clarity on this.
Okay.
If a student participates in a sport for the duration, does that count as a 0.5? Because I would say,
That's-
time-wise, you're gonna hit 0.5 credits, easy.
Oh,
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So-
Now, are
so
we,
that's-
but, are we saying it's a varsity sport then? Or are we saying it's?
Well, it could be the ski
period?
club. I mean, it says any physical activity, so.
True.
And that's where we need this clarity, so.
Yeah, so in past experience, it was varsity only, and you had to
That's
have, the athletic director sign off on it, the coach sign off on it, the principal sign off on it, and then the guidance counselor had to sign off on it as well.
I think you
So-
had to have.
To
two
basically
other-
just say you participated the whole
Mhm.
season long or
And
whatever.
I think
Yeah.
you had to have lettered too in that sport.
And I can get a copy of that from a previous district of
Yeah.
what
It's-
their criteria is.
And that's a way, you know, as you
I'd
read the
like to
law.
see some.
Right, as you read the law, it doesn't have to get that specific, but.
But we
it's-
could
it's a
make,
way.
say, varsity sport only.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's how we
With,
want to see it.
one of our practices is letting, I appreciate this, my kids benefited from it, where we let kids take classes based on their skill level, not their grade. So, my freshman son, one of my sons took a advanced math class as a freshman, because he was ready for it. The problem is, if you, schedule flexibility comes into play. So allowing our underclassmen the ability to have schedule flexibility is really important. So if we say this is only for juniors and seniors, we're missing one of the great values.
Well, but then the equivalent, I think if we just did it to varsity sport, if a freshman's ready to play varsity sport or ready to take advanced physics, kind
So
of
I,
corollary.
I guess I would say, I would argue against requiring a varsity letter, because you go to gym class, there's no varsity letter, you're learning a skill, your physical exercise. Junior varsity cross-country runner, I think still meets all physical education requirements. So that's why I'm like, you gotta finish the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be active and involved, but I'm less like, they're active, they're learning something, kind of a lifetime skill, and we're giving them flexibility into their schedule. That's, I mean, I wish we could give them 1.5 credits at PE. So that,
Right,
Yeah.
I know our PE teacher would not be thrilled with that.
Right,
But
and
anyway,
there's
that's-
value to
there's-
being in
right.
PE as opposed to
Yeah.
one
one of the
sport and
challenges
earning all your.
we have,
Correct.
yeah, you're right, but here's a challenge, scheduling is a challenge here. There's not a lot of class offerings. If you miss a class one year, you miss, again, part of our experience, one of my boys missed chemistry his freshman year. We didn't realize, oh boy, he got out of cycle.
Mhm.
And that's, we've got to have as much flexibility with our parents is they build schedules as we can. And this is a way we can do that, pretty low cost.
Maybe we can get some,
We just need to see more on this.
yeah,
sample out.
maybe what other schools are doing. that kind of
Right.
thing. Okay. All right, moving on. AGR plan update.
So that first slide is what we're have in place now.
And you wanna lead us through that?
Sorry. Yeah, so we had gone over this information back in January. This is just kind of updating you, so from the beginning to the middle to now the year end, and just showing the growth that we've been seeing in our different classrooms. And so the other interesting part of it, as well as we're kind of going through the process of AIMSweb this year and our fast bridge testing, and just kind of navigating through that information and recognizing what were some areas of growth and what were some areas that we still need some improvement in. And as you can see, I mean, there's been some significant growth in, just even looking at our first grade reading, just how dramatically the numbers kind of came down for our students that were below. Obviously still some work in some areas, but saw a lot of positives.
Is baseline our students or is baseline a national?
Our students. So all this information is from our student population. And I know part of the conversation as well with some of the goals, some were a little bit lofty, and, you know, our staff recognized that, you know, next go around being a little bit more realistic of what to have expectations on our students and doing it well.
So are we considered to still have an achievement gap in our elementary grades?
Right. I think we have more work to do, absolutely,
Okay.
so. I think with the work that we've done in ELA this year, I think will pay off, you know, in the future, and then working on math next year. I know, as a district, math, we've done worse at math, but that's gonna be our focus next year, is developing those standards and really honing in on the instruction. So.
And then the fast bridge is the state testing.
Fastbridge is not.
Not?
Fast,
Okay.
yeah, we, as far as our interventions and collecting data, we have what's called screeners, universal screeners that we do the 3 times a year. I think what you're referring to is forward.
Okay.
Forward test, which is the statewide.
So this is another assessment just outside of the, like the required.
Right, it's,
Testing.
our teachers administer it, we get all of the data and we utilize that to figure out what's going well and what's not going well, right, and what we need to hone in on.
Okay.
Plus it provides different ideas as far as interventions for our kids, so it's a good tool.
All right. Let's convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Stats 19.851C to consider the employment, promotion, compensation, performance, evaluation, data of any public employee over which this governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. You're in closed session.
What time?
6:36.
Yep.